performances done by My Five Pigs were the New Orleans Rhythm Kings, who performed by three childhood friends from New Orleans: cornetist Paul Mares, clarinetist Leon Rapolo, and trombonist George Brunies. They all landed in Chicago and put together a trend-setting eight-piece band, adding Arnold Loyocano on bass, Louis Black on banjo, Frank Snyder on drums, Jack Pettis on the saxophone, and Elmer Chauvel on piano. New Orleans Rhythm Kings went from 1922 to 1925, who were one of the most influential jazz bands of the early 1920s, who became popular and had their own record label known as Nork. The Red Hot Peppers, 1926 to 1930, led by Jelly Roll Morton, with 7 to 8 piece band. Jelly Roll was more than just a musician who lived the life of a legend. From living his life as a pimp, a gambler, a fight promoter, all the way to a sharpshooter in the Wild West show, this man made hustling a fine art. The original Dixieland Jazz Band, 1916 to 1936, who came up with their lively, stable blues. They became the first ever jazz single issued, formed in New Orleans. The Dorsey brothers, named Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey, who specified in jazz, who started in 1928 but didn't become an actual band until 1934. But it didn't matter anyway, because the two brothers would always fight with each other, then broke up to form their own bands. But in 1953, Jimmy and Tommy reunited and continued playing together until Tommy's death in 1956. Also, with a TV show called CBS with the unknown Elvis Presley. Finally, the Mills Brothers, originally called the Four Kings of Harmony, were an African-American jazz band with not much informational background.
In the 1920s, there were numerous bands that gathered together and made compositions for the public. The first recording was made to everyone's surprise. It became a huge popular success. The first actual band to appear on record was the original Dixieland Jazz Band, ODJB, or sometimes referred to the original Dixieland Jazz Band, because of the questioning meaning of the word jazz during this period. The ODJB had a hot, punchy sound, but the arrangements feature little or no soloing. In that sense, the ODJB, made up of what musicians would work together in New Orleans, was probably more typical of the New Orleans collective and personal national style of both black and white, in the best way to record it subsequently. Another example of a famous band is the Charleston Chasers. It was done in a style similar to ragtime music. Ragtime music was popular until the late 1910s and was a heavy influence and dance music of the early 1920s, while jazz heavily influenced dance music. The music of the Hot Five turned into Louis Armstrong and the Hot Five, due to Armstrong making his first records on November 12, 1925. And becoming popular, leading him to create his own band. Some original songs were the OK-78 RPM, Where's My Heart, Cornet Chop Suey. The records were considered by most critics to be among the finest records in jazz history.